Welcome to another exciting episode of Women in Tech series organized by Polestar, where we shine a spotlight on the trailblazing women who are transforming the tech industry. And today I'm your host. My name is Benazir, and we are thrilled to have with us Sabaita Mohsin, an AI evangelist and a leading voice in the world of artificial intelligence. With a passion for bridging the gap between technology and human experience, Sabaita has been at the forefront of advocating for AI's potential to drive innovation and create more inclusive solutions. So today we'll be diving into her journey into AI space, the role of women in AI, and the exciting future of this rapidly evolving field. Whether you are already immersed in the AI field or you are starting to explore it, her insights are sure to, inspire and empower you. So let us start the session today. A very warm welcome, Sabaita. We are very excited to host you today.
Thank you. It's an honor to be on your platform.
Please share your story with us. And I'm sure many people will be, they will get inspired by you. Over to you.
Sure. So I can just talk a little bit about how I got started on this journey. So my entire career has been in somehow or the other related with data and analytics. I started as a data analyst, and then I moved on to, kind of being a data engineer to be able to kind of understand the back end of data. So how does it travel, throughout the organization? How does it get transformed? So then I progressed to being a data architect, kind of a progression in the data engineering field, where I was responsible for, kind of the data ecosystem for the organization, building it, maintaining it, and those kind of things. And from then on, I felt that, now that I understand about how the data, is acquired, transformed, and how does it reside in the organization, to more on, using that data. So, descriptive analytics through being a data analyst, and, being a data scientist helped me kind of contribute to predictive and prescriptive analytics in the field. And then I moved on to kind of, standing up the automation teams to, get into the robotic process automation so that, all of this gets more kind of moving away from the manual processes wherever possible. And then I moved to Caterpillar as an analytics lead, where I was, kind of taking care of the projects end to end. So like all of data engineering, data analytics, data science, and moving into more kind of roles. And so then I moved to kind of AI product, which is kind of, understanding the strategy and the vision of the company and trying to, kind of build those AI solutions into the products that we have where it makes sense. So that's where I'm at today, is, kind of taking care of AI product.
Amazing, amazing. So we have some, talking point to discuss today. And from the audience, if you have any of you have any question, you can write in the chat. And after the session is over, in the last 10-15 minutes, we can take up the questions. Okay. So, Sabaita, can you please share some of the AI initiatives that you have led that had the most impact on your organization?
So I think one of the most important one that I've seen throughout my journey, not one initiative, but something, is kind of moving, the organization towards automation and standardization. That's something that I talk about a lot, because not everything is AI. Sometimes it can be done with, using automation products, or sometimes it can be a merger between AI or generative AI and automation. Because I feel that piece is something that's sometimes overlooked, that brings a lot of value. So when I proved the ROI, the first time I proved the ROI for, automation, we were, given a go ahead to kind of implement some of the automation solutions. And that first year, we saw like 7.5 million, cost savings just because of that. So I think that's something that was one of the impactful initiatives that I kind of, stood up.
Amazing, amazing. And like, as a recognized professional in AI, and especially having been awarded the AI 100 leader by AIM Research, how do you stay ahead of the curve in such a rapidly evolving field, and what are some of the future, I mean, coming trends in AI that you are most excited about?
So how do I stay, knowledgeable about this? Is I think continuous learning is the mantra, right? And especially with the field of AI, that's like evolving with the blink of an eye. So it's more about, I try to take some courses, verified courses, and then I interact with a lot of industry professionals to know, what they're doing in their field, how are they utilizing this, technology. That kind of opens my perspective on what all are the possibilities with this technology. I also try to keep fresh with, the academia and research, because there's a lot, again, happening in this field. And then, attending a lot of conferences and events. And so I think it's a cycle. That I believe that it's a cycle where, I learn, and then I also try to disseminate that information. So then, the cycle of learning keeps going. Everybody interacts, and you learn something and you disseminate what you've learned, and so others learn something. So it's a continuous cycle. But yeah, it's mostly through being connected to all of these forums and learning courses.
Yeah,
And
completely
sorry, so there was
understand.
a second part too. Yeah, sorry. So there was a
Yeah.
second part too.
What are the upcoming AI trends that you are most
Mhm.
excited about?
So as everybody knows that the AI agents are something that everybody, that's the buzzword, right? Because
Yes.
that's kind of leveraging the generative AI's core technology, but taking it to another level. So that's one thing that I'm working on. I'm trying to evaluate, what are the places that it makes sense to implement that. And other than that, I think there's some more things that we will start seeing in the coming years, which is like, we know that generative AI is the buzzword and everybody's talking about it,
Mhm.
but there's also these other technologies on the periphery that's very new and that's evolving. So it's kind of like the emotional AI. So how are we kind of trying to, inculcate or the understanding of human emotions? How are we, the extended reality, the mixed reality, the AR, the VR that that's evolving too. So
Mhm.
these are very new, very powerful technologies that, when augmented with generative AI, can bring up solutions that we haven't seen yet. So I think those are things that I'm looking out for and doing more research on.
Very exciting times.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, as an AI evangelist, how do you drive the adoption of AI technologies within, large organizations? I mean, adoption is a problem across, not just in AI, normal technologies also we have
Yes.
faced. So, how do you, handle that?
Absolutely. With any, technological adoption, there's phases that you have to go through. So I think what my strategy has been is to kind of first identify the workforce that's going to be within an organization that's going to be the most impacted by that technology, and the group of workforce that is going to be the most instrumental in being able to start implementing that technology. Identifying those two groups in the first phase, and start to kind of socializing the idea with them, kind of talking to them, to making them comfortable, because it's also more that people get questions about what will happen to my job, if it's affecting me, will it be overtaken by it? So kind of making people understand that it's not going to overtake a job, but it's going to bring more value to the job. It's going to bring more meaning and more satisfaction to your work, and maybe take away the pieces that are more manual or that are more that redundant pieces, but then keeping the your expertise is still going to be valuable. That's something that we always need. So kind of making people comfortable in accepting the technology and bringing them on board, because their expertise, when they bring in their expertise, that's when those solutions start getting real value. And so I think it's more about, the first phase is just more about socializing, making people comfortable with the company's vision, talking about the why, the how, the what, the when, and then kind of moving it to the broader groups of the organization. And it also then there's another aspect of understanding customer adoption too and working through that. But I think these are the main phases.
And will this be the, most challenging part in AI-driven transformations, or you have like other things which is,
Yeah.
more challenging?
I think it's kind of built into or builds off of this is the change management, right? So whenever there's new technology that you're trying to adopt, there's this piece of workforce that I talked about, but there's also the piece of understanding from your tech stack. How ready are you? What more new technologies, new implementations, new infrastructure that you require to get there, right? And then understanding the skill set that you have in your organization, and what all do you need to build then. So those are some of the things that need to be taken into consideration. And then understanding the vision, like where do we want to be next year, where do we want to be 3 years and 5 years from now, and then slowly bridging that gap, upskilling people to be able to use that technology, to be able to implement that technology, implementing or improving your tech stack to be able to support all of that. And iteratively, even then having smaller milestones, like 6 month, 1 year milestones, where we are providing value based on what we have today, and keep building off of it. So we're not waiting for that North Star 5 years down the line and we don't know what happens, but kind of start to implementing projects that are possible today, that's possible next year, that's possible the year after, so that you're on a continuous journey.
Great to, know that. And like all these transformations and this kind of AI solutions, I know you talk about, AI ethics and responsible solutions. How do you ensure that, this is prioritized in whatever development you are doing in the AI transformation? How do you do that?
So I think this has been something which was more of a challenge, maybe say 7 years ago, but now, because generative AI and AI is raising so many questions because of its evolution, the
Mhm.
pace of its evolution, that I'm really seeing the organizations going above and beyond and establishing the government governance councils and compliance committees, so that whenever there's projects coming up, they put that through the responsible AI lens, the ethical lens, and seeing, are we breaching anything. So I think so my work of advocating for that is reducing a little bit, I would say, because now most of the people around the organization are thinking about it, implementing guardrails around it. But I would still say that whenever there's an initiative that we're thinking about, it has to be, I make sure that it's built into my system, that whenever there's an initiative, we're thinking about what are the legal implications that this can have, what are the ethical implications this can have, and then kind of always taking it through the processes that the organization has set, but also having checks while the project is progressing and even after the project is in production, because then there can be more data sources, there can be more things that creep in that you need to keep evaluating. The other thing that I do is I'm also a part of Responsible AI Initiative, or the institute, where their main goal and purpose is to talk about ethics and responsible AI, and they put out good content out there. So I'm always kind of on top of that content, so that I make sure that with the evolution of AI, what are all the issues that can creep up, and what is it that we need to be at the forefront of thinking about, so that things don't get out there that can have toxicity, bias, or things like that.
Yeah, at least it's great to hear that organizations are proactively taking, this initiative to check that the ethics are not compromised.
For sure,
Great.
yeah.
So I'm sure, like, with your till now we have talked about the users of these technologies, and now we talk about the developers that you work with. As a mentor, what do you believe is the most important quality to nurture in upcoming AI professionals?
I think it's more of imaginative and passion for learning. Those are the two things that I think I would nurture, because the tech landscape is changing drastically, right? So in the past, when you were in the programming world, you were limited by the capabilities of what you can program and the capabilities of what a system can do. But today, it's like I'm seeing people create their digital twins. Seeing people make their AI friends, so things like that. So it's like, imagine, it's up to your imagination. You can go as far as you can in your imagination, and maybe within if not today, within a few years, that's going to be a possibility. So don't have that limited, kind of scope of thinking. I would think that's one thing that's really important with kind of the pace at which the technology is evolving, and passion for learning. So there's no way that, in today's world, we can say I'm an expert in something. It's so fast, and, everything's changing so quickly that we have to keep learning. And so I think that's what I try to nurture in my mentees is, continuous learning. Think what you can do in your field, and, keep thinking and keep imagining.
Amazing. I will use whatever you said to my mentees also. Like nowadays,
Sure.
coding is not the problem. You can get the,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
coding very easily. You just have to imagine the solutions
Yeah.
and what you want to do. And
Yeah, the
again,
possibilities are endless.
yeah, yeah. And, how do you balance being a leader in AI and a mentor? And what's the most rewarding part of mentoring in this field?
So I think this part for me has been easy. It's not more about, I haven't had to balance things a lot because, this is my passion. I work in AI, and, like people have hobbies, they have activities that they do at their leisure. And I'm kind of a nerdy person. And because this is what I like, I also read about, I build, and, like in my pastime. So like 2 years ago, my son was really, getting intrigued with what is this, what is that, that happens in a certain age. And so then I built an app for him, which has like AI bot
Wow.
that kind of answers questions for him, so that, when I'm not available or my mental capacity is taken up, he can ask the bot and, chat with it a little bit and get knowledge. So I think the balancing part for this piece, at least, has been a little bit easy for me because my leisure and my work kind of mingle into it.
Amazing.
So yeah, I think there was a
Amazing.
second piece to your question. Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, so my question was regarding, mentoring, in
Yeah.
a mentee
Mhm.
in the AI field. What is the most
Yeah.
rewarding part of mentoring in this field?
Yeah. So when I, mentor somebody and they go ahead and, implement something successfully, they're so proud of it. And that makes me really feel happy and make me feel that, yes, I've done my job in helping them reach where they really want to go.
So, can you share any story where, your mentorship
Mhm.
has made a significant impact on someone's career?
Yeah, so one time I had a mentee who was working in kind of the warehouse as a stocking agent. So it was really difficult for that person, and that person really wanted to break into tech, into data analytics and data science, but the field that he was working in was so different, right? So then when we started these sessions, so I tried to understand, what is it that, the basic skills that he would need to build to start, kind of, uh, getting into the jobs of data analyst. So then over a period of 1 year, we kind of identified the skills that he would need and slowly starting working on those. And so what I kind of, moved him towards is that, see, you're already learning a new technology. So what I would say is that, not having to learn another new domain, but find opportunities in your domain, because you're an expert of the warehouse, you're an expert of what can be done with the data in your space. Use that to your leverage. And so then, he started learning Excel. And so then, I then, kind of worked with him to identify a project that he could do to, kind of automate Excel through macros. And, so he worked with his manager and he agreed. And so, that was one of his milestones. Then going forward, I was like, identify something that you can do with visualizations. So he did that. And then I think after 1.5 years or so, he had been so proactive within his own job, taking up these responsibilities that he really didn't need to, but he did. That, then there was an opening for a data analyst in his company, and he applied for it and he got it. So I think that was the most rewarding,
Amazing.
piece of mentorship up until now, is taking such a disconnected field and helping the person reach, the goal of, being a data analyst or a data scientist.
Amazing story. Amazing story. Great. Now we talk about, our, the main motive of this kind of sessions, women in tech. So, how do you think women in AI can break barriers and advance in their careers in this field? And if you think there is any barrier at all for women?
Well, I would think, it depends on the culture you're in. But what I would think the most important for us to do is keep pushing and keep striving for it, right? Don't settle for less. I would say, and never settle for less. Keep trying for where you want to go. So just an example from my personal, life, as my motto has been that, if life throws lemons at you, make lemonade. So it's kind of a silly one, but then I do implement it in my personal life as well as in my professional life. So one of the story is that, when I had my twins, and that, they were a few months old, and I was kind of thinking that I'm stuck in my career and how do I progress from here? And so at that time, I had two babies to take care of and I had a full-time job. But the thing is, they used to wake up so frequently in the night, for milk, for diapers and everything, right? So what I did was, I was very grumpy, not having a good night's sleep. So I thought that to myself that I'm anyways not sleeping for, the first half of the night until like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Let me make use of this for my own self as well. So then I enrolled myself in a master's program, an online master's program. And then I was anyways being up, making milk bottles, changing diapers. I was like, let me squeeze my time to study up until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And eventually I'll get there. And so as my kids started growing up, and even before they were 2 years old, I got my master's degree. I know I have lots of missed sleep, never slept before 2 a.m. in those 2 years, but it was all worth it towards the end. So I would say that, if you want something, keep pushing, keep trying, keep learning, and you will get there.
I can totally relate with this, with
Are you
your that
sure?
phase. I was in maternity leave, and at that time, Polestar, our company, they started this executive program in management, and it was, the perfect timing. It did not, take much of my time, and again, I could, get involved into something very productive.
Awesome. Yeah. So we have opportunities around us. It's
Yes.
about grabbing them and, moving forward.
And any specific advice if you have for women aspiring to, leadership roles in AI and tech?
I would say have confidence in yourself. Because the other day I was reading a survey by LinkedIn. And so what that says is that, women are likely to apply to jobs when they are, 100% qualified for that job, whatever that job description is. If they're any less, they don't apply, they're hesitant. Whereas men apply to the jobs, even if they're only 60%, qualified for the job based on those job descriptions. So I would say have confidence in yourself, take initiatives. There are going to be opportunities around you. Take that's going to give you the recognition to move forward. Take ownership of things around you. Those are the things that are going to establish your authority and leadership in that area, and you're going to be recognized for it.
Amazing. I mean,
Oh, one more thing.
that,
Sorry. One more thing I
yeah,
would say is, if it gets really lonely there, it's good to be part of these forums. There are so many forums like, Gartner peer community that I'm a member of. And the others too, where, people of the same kind of, the same boat as you are over there and they discuss about um, that they're professional challenges, tech challenges. So it's really, you get a sense of belonging there. So I think being a part of those things kind of gives you a sense of direction and a sense of belonging.
amazing. Thank you for this advice.
Sure.
So now we have come to the fun part. It will be
Mhm.
a rapid fire kind of round. I'll ask you
Okay.
questions and you have to give
Mhm.
me one word answers. And
Okay.
after
I'll
that,
try.
we will, check the chat and go for the Q&A session.
Mhm.
So if you had to describe your leadership style in one word, what would be?
Visionary,
Amazing. What's the one word that captures the essence of AI's impact on the world?
limitless. It can go anywhere and everywhere.
What's the one word that best represents your journey as an AI evangelist?
Um, transformative. Yeah, I would
Okay.
think transformative.
In one word, what keeps you motivated every day?
Purpose, my purpose and passion.
Amazing.
Sorry, those are 2 words.
No, no, fine. If you had to define your approach to mentorship in a single word, what would it be?
Catalyst. I would think I'm a catalyst who will try to propel, people in the direction that they
Perfect.
want to go.
We need such catalysts in life. And what's one word that encapsulates the biggest challenge in AI today?
Ethical accountability. That's still something that we have to steer and be on top of as this keeps moving forward.
And the last one word to describe the future of women in AI.
Trailblazing.
Amazing. I had so much fun, talking to you in this session. Anything you want to, address in general to the audience regarding AI and, the future of AI?
Well, I think the future of AI is very, very exciting, as we all know. The best advice that, or the thing that even I'm trying to, kind of work on is it's not that you have to break away from what you're doing. You can always find ways of implementing and incorporating AI in your work, be it your personal work, right? Finding recipes and from what you have in your fridge,
Yeah.
right? That's something that's going on everywhere. To doing something on Excel. So then how do you get AI to do it for you? So I would say that learn the technology, but also learn to use it in whatever you're doing. And I think that'll be what will set us apart from our expertise plus use of AI what will take us forward.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the advices.
Mm-hmm.
And now we can check the questions in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So go ahead.
yeah, you can start, we
Okay.
can
Yeah.
check
So
it.
one of the questions that we have here is from Bhaskar. So he says, which non-technical skill has proven most valuable in your AI career? I think in any career, the non-technical skill would be communications. So I keep working on it even today, and I'll keep working on it. It's because the more effective I am at convincing people, at putting forward the ideas, I think the more successful I will be, or anybody will be in their career. Some more questions. What's your favorite AI gone wrong story from your early days, or anything that you've seen recently? Well, we're seeing that people are really being, or the organizations are really being very excited, and some of the organizations are going ahead and, I wouldn't take the name of the organization or anything, but, like just going ahead and implementing it without completely understanding, what those agents can do. I think that's where the AI can go really wrong really quickly. So, I think putting very, very strict and well-defined guardrails around your AI agent is really important, because, there's this prompt hacking now, right? So people can just hack the prompt and make your agent do things that you don't want it to do. So the AI can go wrong over there really quickly. So having, really strict guidelines within which your agent works, I think is really important. One more question maybe I can take is AI's business value to, how do you explain AI's, so I think this is Devadatta asking, how do you explain AI's business value to skeptical executives? This is a very hard part, but I would say that it's not one session that you have and you're done. I think it's more of journey of bringing them along. So I have faced that too, but so how it has helped is kind of, again, socializing the idea, talking about taking, their whatever, whatever the area that the executive is close to, taking that and, kind of showing them examples and showing them, what the AI has done for other organizations, what ROI. So I think for the executives, the most important thing that I talk about is ROI, because then that's really helpful. If you can prove something saying that, we implement the solution and we are able to get this cost effectiveness or this time savings or something like that, I think that's really helpful to kind of get them thinking and help getting them on board.
Amazing. There are a few questions from the LinkedIn Live also.
Okay.
Be able to take that up. One is like, what do you think about the future of Microsoft Fabric in the next years in data field?
I think it's really, so Microsoft is really investing heavily in each and every one of their products, from Microsoft Office to Microsoft, Dynamics 365. And I think Fabric is going to play a very important role. If you were to implement the Fabric, I think all of these solutions that can be weaved off of that Fabric are going to have more seamless integration with data. So like if you're having to, go to multiple systems like it is in every organization to kind of get your data, transform it and have it, I think that Fabric will remove some of those steps. So I'm really excited about it. And I'm sure that, if you or your organization is implementing a lot of or already work on a lot of Microsoft solutions, then that's going to be an integral part in making your applications, your products more seamless.
Great. So Bhavya has an interesting question. So if you could program an AI to perform one household chore perfectly, which one would you choose? I know
This is
mine.
something that, which one's yours?
I will ask my daughter, make my daughter sleep in 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I think that'll be mine too. But other than that, I think there'll be two things: laundry and cooking. That's something that that's something that I have to do every day, and I still can't keep up.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the session. And I hope we can, host you in India. And if you come to Kolkata, I'll feed you Kolkata biryani.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to come for that.
Yes, yes, of course. So have a, amazing career. And I think we will interact again in future.
For sure. Thank you so
Amazing.
much. It's really been a pleasure, fun, and an honor to be here today.
Same here. Same here. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.